Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by Chad Sanderson, managing partner of ValueSelling Associates. He's an award-winning sales, marketing, and business strategy consultant with 20 years of proven results driving revenue growth, facilitating market expansions, and building high-performance teams. He's been selected by Training Magazine as one of their top 5 emerging training leaders. Chad, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
Yeah, interesting story. So I actually started my career in marketing and was running global marketing organization for a software company, got my MBA in marketing, and then 48 hours later was sitting with some of the sales reps and said, you know, they're solving cooler problems and making more money. So I want to jump over and do that. And so the combination of the marketing experience and background and the sales allowed me to be a pretty effective individual contributor, and then continued to go up through the ranks running sales and marketing teams for organizations. Sold the company to KPMG, and then, you know, three and a half years ago, decided that a key to my success had been the value selling framework. So joined ValueSelling Associates, and now was traveling the world.
Right, as
working with companies. Yeah, right.
All right, so the longer journey, obviously that's the short version. Longer version should probably be in a book. Let's talk a little bit about, so what are the types of companies that you work with? Who's your ideal client?
Yeah, well, so it's interesting. We can work with, what we do is really about people. So I like to say we have customers that do everything from sell paper cups to nuclear reactors. The vast majority of, I would say the big chunk of it is tech companies. So Adobe, ServiceNow, Workday, things like that, where we're training their global sales teams on a consistent framework for communication. It gives us the opportunity to really tailor it to their business. But again, we also have manufacturing companies, healthcare companies. It doesn't really matter. Anybody who really has to have a conversation with another human being, we have a framework that allows them to manage it, kind of gives them a GPS for that conversation. Okay.
So what are some of the core problems that they're having that they bring you in to fix?
So everyone we talk to always says, basically the same thing. Our team is unique. Oh, it's unique.
Our business is different.
Our business is different. So tell me what challenges you're having. Well, our sales cycles are too long. Our deal sizes are too small. Our team's selling feature functionality versus truly understanding how to differentiate and sell on value. We don't have good alignment with marketing. Marketing's not producing assets and or content that allows us to amplify or speed up the sales process. There's a disconnect there. If it's a services company, oftentimes we'll hear, what they sold is not what we can do. So how do we drive alignment there? How do we get them back to something that creates kind of a frictionless buying experience for the buyer from first contact, not through close, but through implementation, and then all the way out to that date in the future where they realize the value that convinced them to sell in the first or buy in the first place.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And then talk a little bit about your framework without revealing your secret sauce. How do you guys help them fix that?
So it's interesting. Most people today, we all live within, 3 inches of a screen. And so we're really great at shooting texts that are, spelling crappy, and emails that don't have complete sentences or things like that. We're great at that. And there's a barrier there, but to truly uncover someone else's perception of value and connect to that takes understanding how to effectively manage the dialogue, manage a conversation. And so the framework that we employ allows, regardless of where you are in the revenue funnel, allows you to consistently connect to and uncover what someone else finds valuable, so you then can connect what you can uniquely bring to the table to their perception of value.
Okay, so that makes total sense. What are some of the transformational results? Tell us a little bit about, and you can withhold names if you need to. Here's where the company was when they hired us, and here's what we took them to, and here's what we did, and how it kind of worked out, and what we were able to achieve.
So the easiest one to talk about is Adobe. We've worked with Adobe for 7 years. When we started working with them, the stock price was $35. Before current day.
Right. We're recording this during the coronavirus.
During the coronavirus, right? It was over $285. And we won't take full credit for that. We were one leg company. Yeah, we were one leg of a 3-pronged transformational initiative. But the results in terms of their teams being able to consistently sell on value were extremely impactful. When we started with them, we started with a pilot. We worked with their strategic accounts team. So 28 of the largest deals Adobe closed that year came out of this team. 24 of them the success was directly attributed to being able to have those conversations. Another example is another large public company I can't name, but we trained their teams in January of 2018. By September of 2018, their stock price had doubled. And on an analyst call, when the CEO was asked, hey, how did you make your deal sizes bigger? How did you do this? His response was, we trained our people how to ask the right questions of the right people. And that's a direct result of kind of the integrated questioning process inside of the framework that we use. Those are just 2 of the examples.
Those are 2 great examples. If you had only gotten him to say on that call, because of
right. If I could have
because of Chad.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Right.
But those are a couple of them. And if you hit the ValueSelling.com website, there's some video case studies and other ones where people talk through other impacts that they've seen as well.
Okay. So for the majority of our listeners are not running publicly traded companies. They're business owners, entrepreneurs of various sizes. So let's talk about how would they, you talked about sales cycles being too long, deal cycle being too long, the sales sizes being too low, the sales cycle being too long. What are some actionable items that a smaller business could implement to see improvements, and then of course want more from you?
Right. So the beauty of this is it scales from a one-to-one person interaction to strategic accounts, that you're seeing in those publicly traded companies. At the end of the day, it comes down to slowing down and asking the other individual, what is the number one thing they're focused on, right? It's not rocket science. This is really core foundational type of stuff, but we move so fast and we're inundated with so much that we have a tendency to want to hear the sound of our own voices rather than slow down and listen. So asking someone else, hey, what is it, what's the number one thing you're focused on right now? What are the challenges that are getting in the way of that? What's keeping you from achieving that? And they've naturally thought about this, right? People stay awake all the time thinking about the problems they're trying to solve. So they also probably have some idea of what they want to see in an optimal solution. So let's ask them those questions before we jump up and say, hey, we have this cool new widget, or we do this one thing, because that instantly limits the deal size. It instantly puts blinders on the individual you're talking to, and they see you and your offerings in only one light. And so the thing that I would say for any company is just slow down, ask the questions, uncover the other person's perspective first. That will give you the opportunity to see a landscape of ways you can help them that will make the deal sizes bigger and will give them the personal value or investment to make it happen faster.
Okay, those are all great points. What do you like best about what you do?
I love the diversity of the companies that we get to work with. I make a joke. I even make a joke with all of our clients. Like, yes, I know the first time we talked, you said your team was unique, but the list of problems that we solve are, it's a fairly standard. It's a large list, but it's fairly standard. So that's one thing, but being able to see it in different environments, right? See it from a manufacturing company standpoint or a healthcare company, or even in a crowded landscape, if you're working with SMB MarTech companies that are trying to compete in that MarTech 7,000 space where every day, in fact, probably another company was founded while we've been talking. That's really interesting to see how it manifests itself, and then get to work in the diversity of those industries, as well as with the individuals that are passionate about those industries.
Absolutely. So given all the success you've achieved, I mean, what's your biggest challenge now? What are you working on?
Well, the biggest challenge now is a lot of what we do. Is virtual, right? A lot of the customization, the assessments, the reinforcement, but the core rollout for us is more powerful, I believe, when it's done in person. And travel restrictions and the Corona stuff right now, that's creating a bit of a challenge. So what's been exciting is that we've actually evolved kind of our virtual approach. And in fact, what you see behind me is we're in the middle of changing this into a virtual studio. So I've got a whole bunch of crap on order, a whole bunch of new tech I get to order. Thank you, coronavirus. So that we can do more effective virtual engagements. The fun part of it is seeing the light bulbs go on, right? It's the energy that happens when at first you see those confused looks, and then all of a sudden the light bulb goes on and they go, oh man, this is really going to make a difference. And then seeing people, I got a note yesterday from someone at a company that we trained, I want to say 3 weeks ago. And he was probably one of the skeptics in class. And he sent me a note. He's like, hey, I have to tell you, this was phenomenal. It has totally changed the way that I'm engaging with customers. I'm seeing the results and the value, and really just appreciate your time. So I think those are some of the highlights for me.
Awesome. I know your time is incredibly valuable, and we greatly appreciate you spending some time with us and sharing a little bit of your wisdom. For our listeners and viewers who want to learn more about what you guys do and how you might be able to help them, where is the best place for them to go?
So you can hit me up on LinkedIn. It's just /Chad Sanderson. Can't miss me. Bald, beautiful goatee. You could also hit the ValueSelling Associates website and see my bio page there that has a list of not only bio, but places that I've been interviewed or other assets that I've created. And feel free to just shoot me an email. It's just chad.sanderson@valueselling.com.
Awesome. Anything else you want to share that I didn't think to ask you?
Oh, that's a great question. No, I just hope everybody out there is staying grounded, understands that quotas and revenue targets don't change regardless of what's going on in the world, and take a deep breath and just approach things with a passion and an authenticity that I think everybody's thirsty for these days.
All right. Thank you very much, Chad Sanderson of ValueSelling.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.